Business Today. Rowena Kajumba here, still with us, and it's time for us to take a look at our business insight. And with me in studios is a gentleman going by the name Lutaya Akram. And he is indeed with, if we could call it, AK Machinery and Innovation. You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm glad you made time for us because oftentimes we talk about entrepreneurship and we sort of leave it there, you know, at the end of the day. But first of all, tell us about AK Machinery and Innovations.
Okay, AK Machinery and Innovations, it's a branding company.
Okay.
We deal in printing, we deal in, you know, it's AK Machinery and Innovations. We innovate new things every time. So it is a branding company.
Okay.
Yes.
Mainly.
Mainly.
Okay. What other things apart from branding do you get
apart from branding? Okay, branding is wide because branding I'll talk about. We do printing. In printing, we do magazines, calendars, brochures. If I talk about branding, I'll talk about 3D signages.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. We work on billboards. So, branding
that's
is
a huge, huge thing, really, I must say. Interesting. So how did you start up? Well, but first tell me, because you see, oftentimes we talk about our youth, our young men and women, just chilling, if I could borrow that word. But how did you start out, basically?
Okay. I think that's a good question. I started from here where you are.
Interesting.
Because I came to UBC. It was UTV by then.
Yes.
In S3. I liked working. So I got an opportunity. There's a lady called Sophie Matov. She gave me an opportunity here to start working. So I worked and I would save.
Nice.
I would save. So I studied while I was working here. It's good my school gave me an opportunity. It allowed me to work while I'm studying. So in my S6 fac, I had accumulated some good capital. And of course, I had to think out of the box and, you know, see what am I going to do else. I'm working here, but... So I got my capital from here at UBC.
Oh, wow.
So thank you, UBC. I'm really grateful. Yeah. So I got my capital. When I reached S6, I did some printing for some lady. I wasn't in the business, but when I went there, I was like, wow, I saw so many people at Nasser Road. I was like, I think this business, I should try it. So I started bit by bit. I didn't have a lot of money. I think I went there when I had 1 million. So I started bit by bit. I talked to several people. They advised me. I realized the machines were costing a lot of money. I didn't have that money. So I decided to go into marketing. I go in different companies, telling them what I do. I never used to tell them that I don't have machines and whatever, but I said my company will be called...
You tell them I will give you these services.
So I told them my company is called AK Machinery. So AK Machinery, someone would think there are so many machines. So I was like, that's how I started. So they gave me contracts. They would give me contracts. I get the jobs. I go and use other people's machines. Okay. So eventually, I kept on, you know, getting more business. And then I started my own office. And the word machinery, the dream came true. Now I have the machines.
Interesting. That's a very interesting one. You know, earlier on we were having a clip there on inspiring, and I think some of the things that were pointed out was saving, and I think which is also very key, that I've picked from what you've just told us. Of course. But then let's look at you getting into this space, into entrepreneurship, basically, if I could say that. Did you learn along the way a couple of things, or, well?
I think it is, you know, people talk about entrepreneurship, and some people are negative, others are positive. But to me, I would say I don't regret going into
So you are learning along the way,
of course.
Oh, interesting.
Experience. When you do business, whatever you do in life, you keep on getting the experience. If they tell you that lending people money, you have to first write an agreement, you'll never understand it until you give someone money and then they fail to pay you, and you go to the lawyers and they tell you, did you write an agreement? And you say no. So it is experience. So
because most people think to get into it, you need to know what you're doing. I think that's the problem we have with most of our youth.
Not true.
I don't know about that. I can't get myself in it.
You can't get into it?
Most people, they will tell
Okay,
you,
okay.
I cannot get myself into that business because I don't know what it's about. But it's very interesting that you've said you learnt, it's a process of learning.
And also, just a minute, I think different things motivate you to do a different business. Sometimes you can do a business because you love it.
Yes.
And then some other times, you can be motivated because you're getting money out of it.
So for you, what motivated you?
I had never dreamt doing printing in my life. I had never dreamt doing printing in my life. My dream business was to sell cars.
Oh, wow.
And along the way, when I started accumulating some money, I tried it. But I realized the other side, I had already made a good foundation. So I decided to leave the other one and get into this. So I think money motivated me because I had already set a foundation for it, but I didn't go into it because I loved it.
Okay, but do you feel like, let's go to our environment in terms of what entrepreneurship is. Do you feel that we've set precedent or probably the environment is good enough for us to say or convince many of our youth get into entrepreneurship?
Okay. I think I'll talk about the negative side and the positive side. The negative side is, okay, let me start with the positive, because I'm a positive person. I'm a positive person. If you see, I've tried to research about our neighboring countries, some countries, and it's a little bit to start business compared to Uganda. Uganda, it's easier to start business. Yeah, you can start slowly by slowly, and then later on, other countries, it's a little bit tough. You have to go into the process is long. But the negative part is, I'll talk about the tax part.
Oh, the tax.
For example, in our business, there's a certain amount we pay, but they don't look at the like what you have. They will just say, if you deal in printing, this is the money you do. There are people who have machines of billions. They cost billions of money. And then there are people who have machines of about millions, 5 million, 10 million. So you end up paying the same money with the person who has
much
more, who has machines of billions of money. So I think that is the problem we are having, but maybe along the way it will be worked on. But starting business in Uganda, it's easy.
Okay, so how long have you been into this, really, into this business?
I think I would say like about 7 years, because I started in my A6 work. Yes, I started in my A6 work. I did university when I was building my business, my own business.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So now that you've said 7 years, which is almost a decade anyway, 3 years just along the way, how have you been able to sustain? Because let us be honest, many people start businesses along the way. They close. Many businesses start. They don't even see their second birthday, their first birthday, if I could borrow those words. But how have you been able to sustain? Maybe address this, to a couple of people out there.
You see, with business, there's a lot of sacrifice you have to put in.
Okay.
A lot of you, they start business, God helps them, things are moving on, and then they get excited. Okay. I had a friend who told me that I started a business and then I got 5 million, but I've been home. I come in Kampala, I eat, then I go back home, I eat. When it gets done,
living the life.
So there is, of course, we shall talk about saving. You have to save. You have to know that this is what I spend. Save more. Okay, have a dream, have a vision. Every time you have to look at, what do I want now? How do I want to move on? Sacrifice. So they get excited. Many people get excited. The youth, they get excited. They have started getting money, and then they start using money anyhow. So with time, they end up, saying, "Oh, I don't have any money now for business," because now the kind of business I do, you have to have capital.
Indeed.
Many people give you work, and they expect you to put in money. They pay you later on.
After the work is done.
After the work is done. So you have to have some money with you so that you do that work. And so saving is very important. Mainly discipline.
Okay.
Okay. For the youth, I would say excitement.
It should stop.
It should stop. Don't be excited because you've got 2 million, 3 million. Someone gets 10 million, they go and look for a car of 20 million, they pay 10 million, then they
start paying
the
debts.
other 10, they'll pay the debts. Why? You get what you can. If you have, if you get 10 million, it doesn't mean you have to get a car. No. First build your business, then later on. Then also, some people are not advised very well. There are different things. There are assets and cash flow. When you're just starting and you have to create cash flow.
That is true.
First. Okay? Some people would say, you buy land, build rentals and all that. But when you buy land, your money stays there. Okay? It doesn't, sometimes it will take long to accumulate. Yet you've started a business, it is moving on. So you have to first build your business. You have to create things that
to a point where
they bring cash flow. So with time, when you see you have accumulated a lot of cash flow, then you can start doing assets. So people do that mistake when they start getting money.
They rush into getting assets.
Okay, so I believe the first thing is first make the cash flow, then later on you're going into assets.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, again, times change, business changes. Is research one of those things you really base on to say that? Because, I will come, I'm a client, I've seen something somewhere, we always do it. And then I want it a certain way. And you realize that some people, there are places you walk into and they tell you, we're not able to do that for you now, maybe, because then it's new, it's different. Is that also one of the things that have kept you and sustained your business to look into really?
Okay. I do research, but also some things that I can't do, I accept and say, you know what, I won't do that because I don't want to say I can do something and then I don't do it well. It will spoil my reputation. But what I do is, what I can do best, I do it. And then I have patterns, I have different people. But research is the most important thing in business, of course. Research is the most important thing in business. If you're in business and you don't research, because new things come up every day.
Definitely.
I think I have right now, I've been, the other 5 years, 6 years, I've been concentrating into printing, doing magazine. But now, if you come to my place, I entered embroidery work. Now I brand on shirts, I brand on capes. I got that machine because I looked at
the trend,
and I was like, you know what? I think I should also do this. So research is the way to go.
Okay, but also if you can't do something,
don't put yourself into the
under too much pressure. Now, as AK Machinery, I know we had pointed out a few things in terms of what kind of environment we have in entrepreneurship. I want us to first look at the challenges, okay? Real quick. Then after that, we shall go to the good parts. What challenges have you faced, really, as Lutaya, in the business and probably your colleagues? Because I know it's pretty much similar, one way or another.
Okay, I'm a very positive person. So sometimes the challenges
you use them too.
Yes, but some of the challenges I've faced, because I started from scratch. I've never got money from anywhere.
Oh, that someone is giving you,
someone giving me or help. Yeah. So it's also a challenge because you start from scratch, and then, but one big thing is some people don't pay.
Oh my!
You do work and then they don't pay.
They don't pick their work.
They take the work because the kind of business we do, the nature that is here is do the work, put in money, and then later on we pay. So
no, I thought I pay you when I'm picking my work.
No, sometimes you don't work that way.
Oh, when you think you're trusting this person,
there's
a
that
couple
trust
of
that
times
comes in.
they've been, okay.
They don't pay, so you end up being into debts. They will never understand that maybe you did this, you didn't pay this person, you're waiting for the money to pay. So it's a big challenge. And also, the kind of business I do, I'll talk about the business I do.
Yes.
You need a lot of capital in the long run when you make the business big. So sometimes you don't have that money. So you end up losing some contracts because you don't have the money. Someone can bring 100 million, a job of 100 million, and you're like, where am I going to get that money? Yeah. So you end up losing that job. Also, registration of companies. I did register my company, but what I went through was too much.
The entire process
Yes.
was frustrating.
So I realized that so many people would like to register their companies, but they fail through the process.
First of all, the money,
the
time.
the time. You know, you have to get agents to do for you those things. We don't know where we should go direct. You know,
so that information is not given to you.
It's not
really.
Yes. So there are agents that you have to work.
Like middlemen.
Middlemen.
Entire process. And every time there is a middleman.
And of course they will eat some money.
Yeah.
Which would be okay if they do
the job right.
The job right, but sometimes they would. So and without registering the company, there are some contracts you will never get. For example, government will not be able to give you, and some big organizations, NGOs.
They want to know that they can trust.
So those are some of the challenges I've faced as Akram. Otherwise, the other challenges, I'm a very positive person.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to scare people.
Since you're a positive person, let us look at the positive side of it. What have you got from this really at the end of the day? Saying that, yes, I got myself into entrepreneurship, basically, or rather focusing on this particular business, and over the years, this is who I've become.
Okay. I think one of the things, the first thing, I'm happy that I'm inspiring many youth. Nice. They are getting to know that there's nothing impossible. Everything is possible. So I'm grateful about that. Two, I don't want to say everything that I've achieved here. But
just the things you want us to know.
For the people who saw me when I just started, and the office I started with, and the machine I started with. Now, if you go into my office, I have got a machine that cost about 80 million.
Interesting.
80 million. Okay, so I think that I'm building the business, and that's what I said. You first create. You know, you first build
the cash flow.
So I think by the time I can be owning a machine that costs 80 million, I think that's a pretty great achievement in my life.
Okay, now finally, as we wind up, because definitely we're dealing with the issue of time. Talk to the young people out there, because this is the thing. You talked about learning, in the process. Most people will say, because I don't know much about that, I will not do it. And we sit back and wait for what we studied, maybe for what our parents told us we should study, things of that nature. Lastly, what can you advise our young people really?
What I can advise the young people, there is nothing impossible. There is nothing impossible. Everything is possible. One, get a business. If you start doing business, focus, determination, and no excitement, as I said. You get money today and then you start being excited, you buy those luxurious cars and everything. I think you first build the business and save. Have discipline with your money. It's your money, so have discipline. You save. Don't only save, of course. You dress well and everything, but
you look
save.
The part,
yes, yeah. I think that's what I can say.
Well,
for now.
Thank you so much. With us in studios here is a young man, if I could use that. Our youth limit age is up to 35. So what we're looking at here is a very, very determined entrepreneur. He's of course, running AK Machinery and Innovations. That is Lutaya Akram. Now, he says he started small. He started with saving. It may not have been enough, but he did not let go of any business deal. He went out there, told these guys, I have this to offer, and then he would go to a couple of friends and do that work. He didn't have to have the office, the machinery. I had a lecturer who used to say, never say no to a job given to you. You say, yeah, I can actually do that.
Yeah,
do you have this? Oh, yeah, definitely. So that way,
you
deal with the people involved. Very true. But, business today, that was very inspiring and also very related to what we had brought on earlier on in the clip on inspiration. Rowena Kajumba here, Business Today, and we are leaving you with the Forex. Have yourselves a very good morning.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.